Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm going to be starting my new series of painting random things in my dorm, which shouldn't be that hard considering I have tons of random things in my room, including these Baby Yoda slippers. But let's be honest, those would be way too difficult to paint on. So I decided to bring out this clipboard that I had laying in my drawer for quite a while now, and it's a plain surface, so I figured it would be perfect for this type of DIY. And now all we have to do is get right onto the painting. So before we can get into any of the fun stuff like sketching and painting, we do have to put down a base coat. So basically this is just a layer of white paint, and you can put as many coats as you want, but I ended up just putting one and it looked perfectly fine. And this makes it easier for when we start sketching out our images. So as you guys have probably seen in the beginning of this video, my clipboard did end up being kind of like a food theme, and I made it a theme of foods that I love to eat on like a regular basis. So I added a veggie burger, a slice of pizza, put some ice cream, a chocolate chip cookie, just like a bunch of different things I love to eat. And I wanted it to be very cutesy, very colorful, very bubbly, and just like bright. It's like a whole bunch of bright colors and all these foods just collaged together. And that was the idea that I had in my head. The only difficult part was coming up with ways to lay all of the food out so that way each one of the foods could be visible, and I wanted them to be kind of in this overlapping pattern as well, so it looks like the foods are just kind of like stacked up on top of each other, and I didn't really want there to be much empty space. And now we can finally move on to the painting portion of this project. So I'm going to get out my very crusty paint palette and all of my open paint bottles since I always forget to close them correctly. And I'm going to begin painting all of the foods that I sketched out. So I already had the colors in mind that I was going to be painting each one of these foods. And since everything was already sketched out for me, it was very easy to go in and paint everything. It was similar to painting a color page. And you guys might be wondering why my pizza has mushrooms and black olives, but I don't know why, but I just really like mushrooms and black olives on my pizza. Like, that's my favorite pizza, and everyone picks on me for it because it's so like bizarre to like. And sometimes I'll even put pineapples on it as well because my boyfriend really likes Hawaiian, so he'll get half Hawaiian and then I'll get black olives and mushrooms, and then sometimes I'll add on pineapples to my side as well. So I don't know, I just have like a really weird pizza preference, but I just thought I should point that out in case you guys thought that was kind of weird or something. And I don't eat any red meat, so that's why I included a veggie burger. Even though it looks like a normal burger, I really don't like red meat or eating beef or chicken or pork or anything like that. So I prefer black bean veggie patties, so that is what I'm drawing. And the patties actually look pretty real to me. If you were to see them, you would probably think they were real patties. So that's kind of what my burger is supposed to be. And then of course I love cookies. I don't know why, I just really love the Chips Ahoy, the crunchy ones, the crunchy cookies. I'm not really a fan of the soft ones, although sometimes I will crave the soft cookies, but most of the time I like to have that crunch of my cookies, so I buy the blue packaged ones. And chocolate chip is obviously my favorite kind of cookie. I do like other cookies, but I mean, yeah, I'm a simple gal, kind of. My pizza's not that simple, but my cookies are. And then what else do I have on here? Avocados. You guys already know I love avocados. Everything that I have is pretty much based off of avocados. My channel's avocado themed. My fan base, which is you guys, are called my AVOCUTIES. And yeah, I don't know, I just really love avocado things. My college lanyard has an avocado pouch. So that just goes to show how many things I own in my life that are avocado. And I just got an avocado yoga mat as well, and I've been using it. Although it is so pretty, I just hate using it because I don't want to ruin it, but also I just don't want it to sit in my room and not be used as well. And next up we have tacos. So usually I don't really go out of my way to eat tacos, but I have recently visited this vegan restaurant and they serve like the best tacos ever. I get the fried mushroom tacos and they're so good. So that's why I included a taco on there, since that's kind of like my new food obsession. And of course, I'm including broccoli because that's my favorite vegetable. I know most people don't consider vegetables their favorite foods, but I'm kind of on a health kick right now, and so I've been eating a lot of broccoli, and broccoli is just, it's always been my favorite vegetable, so I had to include it on there, include something healthy, you know, in the mix of all this unhealthy food. And then of course, french fries. I get french fries everywhere I go. It doesn't matter what place it is or what fast food restaurant it is. I love french fries. And I know some people are all like, oh, these fries are good, but these fries are not good from here. To me, literally every fries are good. I'm not a picky person at all. I will literally eat anything you throw in front of me unless it's meat. But for the most part, I usually eat everything, and yeah. And of course, I had to include boba because I'm so obsessed with boba and milk tea. I attend like a bunch of K-pop cup sleeve events. If you guys don't know what that is, you basically go to the event and you purchase a drink, and usually it's like a boba drink, and then you get a cup sleeve to go with it and maybe like a goodie bag or something, and it's usually to celebrate a K-pop group. So I'll go there and I'll get boba, and I go to so many. I'm like drinking boba like every single weekend, and I love it so much. Milk tea is my absolute go-to, and sometimes I'll get Thai tea, but yeah, both of those tend to be my favorite. And then of course, I love ice cream. I feel like everyone loves ice cream. My favorite ice cream is either, I want to say mint chocolate chip, but I've been eating a lot of chocolate ice cream recently, so I think that would have to be my favorite one. But not just plain chocolate. It has to be chocolate with little like chocolate chips in it, or like almonds or something like that. Something to add a little bit of crunch into it, a little bit of spice. And then of course, coffee. I love coffee. I used to drink coffee a lot, but since I'm trying to be healthier now, I'm trying to wean off of caffeine, and so I've stopped drinking a lot of coffee, and I don't really drink coffee at all anymore, but I still do consider it to be one of my favorite foods. And actually, most of the foods on here I don't really eat as much anymore because, like I said, I'm trying to be healthier, so I usually eat most of these foods in moderation, but I still wanted to include them on here because they are still some of my favorite foods. And as you guys have probably noticed, there is a lot of empty background space, and so I originally started using my Posca pen in the pink color, and I was trying to color in all of the empty spaces using that, but for some reason the ink refused to come out of the marker, and it was making it really difficult for me to color the surface smoothly. I think it was partially because of the surface that the paint texture created, and maybe because the paint wasn't completely dry, and so the marker was having a tough time sticking onto the surface. So I ended up mixing the same exact color of the Posca pen using some of my acrylic paint, and then I ended up painting in the background spaces using that instead. So that's why some of the spaces may look a different color. I also thought that the image looked pretty plain just looking at it as is, so I wanted to try to add an outline to all of the different foods. So first I tried using my Posca pen, and that didn't end up working out due to the same problem I explained earlier. So then I switched to using a Sharpie, and the Sharpie really wasn't that much better. The lines were really thin, and so I ended up having to go over the lines multiple times to thicken them up, and the texture was just not it for me, and so the marker kept leaving a bunch of these bumps. So then eventually I switched back to the Posca paint markers, and I ended up using a different color, and for some reason this marker tip ended up working way better, so I ended up using this red color to line everything in the image. And I know the color might not go with everything, but I tried to line as many things with it as possible. I also went back over those Sharpie lines using the Posca paint marker, and I colored in the straw purple as well. So most of the other colors were working fine. I think it was just maybe that one marker that was struggling with writing on this painted surface, or maybe the surface had already dried enough and the marker started working on it again. And then I went in with my white Posca pen marker, and I added a bunch of different highlights to the foods, and I just made everything pop. The final step for this painting is to gloss the entire image. So you can use a spray-on gloss or you can use one that you paint on like I'm doing here. I'm using Sculpey Gloss Glaze, but you guys can also use Mod Podge. And this is just going to add a protective layer onto your painting so nothing chips or gets ruined. And this is what my final painting ended up looking like. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I hope you guys enjoyed me paint something and try something different and fun and new. And so in the next video, I will let you guys know what I'm going to be painting in my dorm next. Or if you guys have any suggestions on what I should paint on, go ahead and leave a comment down below. But I am excited to hear your guys' thoughts on this new series, so let me know and I will see you guys next time. Bye guys!